yes, we embrace the reformers, those who want to tinker. Okay, if you want to be incremental, fine, but just don't stop there. We're calling for fundamental transformation of American capitalist society with its empire, keeping track of a vicious legacy of white supremacy, male supremacy. We have no room for anti-Jewish hatred or anti-Arab hatred or anti-Muslim hatred, and we're keeping track of the pressures, gay brothers, lesbian sisters, and the transgender and bisexual, but we focus it also on the children, and I don't know about you, but I also focus on the new Jim Crow. The vicious prison industrial complex and its relation to the Wall Street oligarchy plutocratic complex with vicious crimes being committed but not one Wall Street executive going to jail. Not one. That Jamal and the teacher get caught with a crack bag off to jail. I've been teaching in prison for 37 years. I teach a course on Friday night at Broadway, and we have a wonderful time with 150 brothers. 62% of them in there for soft drugs, and lo and behold, the vicious kinds of crimes committed in high places. They're having tea at the White House. Head of J.P. Morgan Chase. What's his name? Jeremy Diamond. Yeah, we're talking about you, Brother Diamond. So I'm a Christian, I love everybody, but I believe in telling the truth. And the condition of truth is to allow suffering to speak. Too many folk are suffering right now. So I want to begin by invoking the great W.B. Du Bois, because it is true. Sister Amy, you're absolutely right. We've lost Maya Angelou. We've lost Vincent Harding. We've lost Amiri Baraka. We've lost Olame Breath. We've lost so many freedom fighters. And each time I come to this gathering, I think, oh, Brother Harry Magdoff, and I think of Paul Sweezy, and I think of, now Bogdan's still around though, isn't he? Bogdan Dinich. He hasn't passed, has he? He's still strong. Thank God Almighty. I haven't seen him in years. We've been at it for 30 years now, Brother Stanley. 30 years. Came up with the idea, was Democratic Socialists of America. And I know a lot of our revolutionary brothers and sisters kind of hard on us DSA folk. You think we're all reformers, that's a lie. We got revolutionaries there. Oh yes, indeed, indeed. I see Brother Carl Dix there, and he's a bona fide revolutionary communist, been to jail with him many occasions. We called for us to stop mass incarceration in October, day after day after day. Say, Brother West, how come you spend so much time with a revolutionary communist? You know you're a Jesus-loving free black man trying to keep track of the poor and working class. That's right. We believe in overlap. There's a revolutionary Muslim named Malcolm X. We believe in overlap. There's a revolutionary Buddhist named Bell Hooks. We believe in overlap. Visionary, prophetic, towering figure, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. Legacy still alive. We believe in overlap. And of course, most of y'all are secular, agnostic, and atheistic. That's beautiful too. That's beautiful too. But I want to begin by invoking Du Bois, and I'm going to be very brief. He raised 4 questions. 89 years old. He emerges from the court. He's in shackles. Why? One, because like Malcolm and Martin, when they tried to come together in June 1964 to put the United States on trial in front of the United Nations for the violation of human rights in relation to black people, Du Bois had just taken the United States, put him on trial in the United Nations, he and Paul Robeson, under FBI surveillance. And at 89 years old, he says, I have something still to say. I embark on writing 3 novels. And in that first novel, turn to page 275, The Ordeal of Mansard. What you got to say, Brother Du Bois, after all of your struggle, trying to keep track of the dignity and decency of poor and working people, those friends for known called the wretched of the earth. What you got to say? 4 questions. How does integrity face oppression? You're going to see a whole lot of wrestling with intellectual integrity in the face of oppression in the next few days. That's what this gathering is all about. That's why Brother Seth Adler and the others bring us together. And by integrity, I'm talking about willingness to think critically, vigorously from the vantage point of poor and working people, to speak candidly, unintimidated, plain, frank speech in the face of powers that be, but also to be willing to sacrifice your popularity, sacrifice your mainstream acceptance, sacrifice your establishmentarian affirmation in the name of something bigger than you, truth and justice. So we're not talking about cupidity. Nobody's here because of love of money. We all need money. Wu-Tang Clan, say cream. Cash rules everything around me, but it doesn't have to rule me. It's around me. It doesn't have to rule me. We attempt to be a people of integrity in a moment in which the American empire is in relative decline. It's an undeniable decay. Look at the situation of our schools. Look at the souls of our children. Look at the condition of working people. Look at the ways in which women are being dehumanized, viciously attacked. Look at the way in which oligarchs and plutocrats have colonized the courts, White House, Congress. Look at those empirical tentacles keep track of those precious children in Pakistan and Yemen and in Somalia with U.S. drones dropping bombs on them. 224 children in counting. Every child has the same value as a child born in Newtown, Connecticut, born on the east side of Los Angeles, born in Tel Aviv, born in the West Bank, born in Ethiopia, Guatemala, anywhere in the world. We attempt to be a people of integrity. Second question of the great Du Bois: what does honesty do in the face of deception? And we're dealing with organized forms of deception. It's a lie white supremacy is, male supremacy is, homophobia is, losing sight of the humanity of working people and others is. Organized deception intimately connected with arbitrary uses of power, especially from above. How do we become honest people? And when you talk about integrity, when you talk about honesty, it cuts across ideology. We're not talking about an ism. We're talking about a certain kind of people, a certain group of people who are committed to something bigger than them, radically against the odds, precisely because what Sister Amy understands so well, the weapons of mass distraction shaped by a corporate multiplex when it comes to media. That's why we love Sister Amy so. Oh yes, she's willing to allow her voices to tell the truth from the vantage point of the wretched of the earth. Sheer honesty. Third question of Du Bois: what does decency do in the face of insult? And we can add assault. We can add attack. We can add character assassination. And yes, some of us must be willing to die. There is no movement for change, fundamental change, revolution, unless there's willingness on behalf of somebody to die. That's a fundamental fact. If all of us come together and we have no one here willing to die for the cause, in a sense it's still sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. And that's especially when it comes to black and brown and red people. Especially when it comes to vicious legacies of white supremacy. People trying to keep track of those who want to tell the truth, trying to expose the lies and try to bear witness in their own fallible way. We're not talking about self-righteousness. We're talking about a willingness to move forward in the face of the darkness, trying to keep that flickering candle alive that highlights the plight of those who are rendered invisible. That's what we're talking about. Thank God for Black Agenda Report. I saw Brother Bruce come through and before so many others. Margaret, Sister Nellie and others. We got to keep track of this vicious attempt to try to corporatize and marketize the internet so that we can't follow the Negro national anthem of lifting every voice. No, they don't want the voices of those who are speaking from the vantage point of poor and working people. They want echoes of those who reflect either the mean-spirited cold-heartedness of right-wing Republican Party policies or the milquetoast, spineless neoliberal policies of the Democratic Party. Both of them just echoes of oligarchic power, echoes of plutocratic power, don't want to tell the truth so much of our public discussion. So I'm going to sit down. But we're here because we're on fire. And we're on fire because too many of our precious fellow citizens are lukewarm. They're too callous and indifferent to the plight of our schools being privatized, to the vicious attacks on the trade union movement. They're too callous and different when it comes to oligarchs and plutocrats on Wall Street and corporate elites who have been getting away with financial murder. They're too callous and indifferent when it comes to the national security state and the surveillance expansion that Brother Edward Snowden. Thank God for Brother Snowden. Thank God for Brother Snowden. Thank God for Chelsea Manning. Thank God for John Kirby. Thank God for they're not just whistleblowers. They're human beings who want to decide to be persons of integrity and honesty and decency. Last question, how does virtue meet brute force? Oh, here's the question. Brute force. You can't talk about change in America, reform or revolution unless you come to terms with the FBI and the CIA and the police and the army and the cannons and the cybertizing weaponry and so forth and so on. That's what we're up against. That's why people come to us and say, oh, Brother West, y'all talking about revolution. You know America, even if it needs revolution, it only has the capacity for counter-revolution because the right-wing forces are so strong. For every socialist, you got 15 members of the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, this is America, y'all. Let's be honest about it. Our struggle is not confined to the United States. We got brothers and sisters in Latin America. We got brothers and sisters in Asia. We got brothers and sisters in Africa and Europe, all around the world. This is a global affair. You got a global capitalist economy. You got a global working class. White supremacy, male supremacy, homophobia, anti-Jewish and anti-Arab hatred, global phenomena. So let's not become so obsessed just with the USA that we